Welcome to Beyond the Veil. I'm your host, Hunter. So, today I want to talk a little bit about my spiritual journey. But before we get into that, I want to remind you guys I'm looking for people to come onto the podcast and have discussions about different religions, spirituality, different belief systems. Even atheists are welcome. I just want to sit down and have a respectful conversation so that we can all begin to learn each other a little better than we know each other right now. But okay, let's talk about my spiritual journey. I do have a book that I wrote that's about 40 minutes long to read, or about 50 pages. It's also available on the podcast. AI reads it to you. I don't personally read it. Um, but you can also get a PDF of it. So if you're interested in that, that's something that's out there too. I'm going to sum up the book in the first 5 or 6 minutes, and then I'm going to talk about where I've gone since then. So the book talks about how when I was a young kid, it was hard for me to concentrate or not let my mind wander. And when my mind would wander, then thoughts that weren't good would come into my head, and it was just not a good experience for me. Um, so at first, I turned to marijuana to like ease that pain and get out of my head. That worked for a while. After that, I turned to prescription painkillers, and that worked for a little bit too. And it helped numb the pain, but it didn't really get to the root cause of why my mind wandered. And even to this day, I don't really know why it wandered like that. It just did. I did find some fixes later in life to help it from wandering, but back then I didn't know. So fast forward a little bit, I got married. We were married for about 15 years, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I'm not a guy that keeps track of those kinds of things. Um, we got divorced. I'd love to tell you that we separated easily and whatnot, but that's just not the case. Um, I think both of us wish we had handled things a little differently. But that got me down my spiritual path. Because I forgot to mention earlier, I've always had a fear of death. And it usually comes on more when life is stressful. So, of course, going through a divorce and whatnot, it got really stressful for me. So that fear came back. Well, one day I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw a guy uh, talking about spirituality and how the earth came to be around and how things are, and just put it into a light that made sense to me. So, what I believe is after the Big Bang, at that point, we were all just the divine or God or the creator. And being the only thing in existence, we got bored or whatever you want to say. We decided that we were going to create individual souls and personalities to have experiences down here on Earth. So I believe we're all interconnected. And if you think of life that way, that we're all interconnected, it really changes the way that you look at things. I mean, if we're all the same creator or the same part of the divine, then how could you hate somebody? Do you hate yourself? I mean, I guess there are people that don't like themselves and put themselves down. But for me personally, it made me look at life totally different. So from there, I started looking into spirituality, seeing what was out there, and trying to find my right place in this planet and figure out what my destiny or what my path was. With that all said, I came to be very spiritual. I don't really think I have a term or words for exactly what you would call my particular spirituality. I'm still learning and still trying to figure things out. Now, I did take a class or two with a couple different people, but the main one I took is with a friend of mine named Orion. He's a great teacher. He taught me a lot of things, and I use those practices on a daily basis. Um, Meditation's one thing that he helped me figure out a little better than I already understood it, and meditation has really helped keep those thoughts from wandering. So I meditate daily. At least I try to. I miss a day or here or there because, life, I'm tired, things like that. But I try to meditate daily. Um, those meditations really keep me connected to the earth and keep me calm, not to have as much anxiety or panic as I used to. So I'm not sure exactly what the next step on this spiritual path for me is. Right now, I'm just working on the things that I've learned from Orion, and then there's a lady named Molly. I've learned some things from her. I don't know. I have imposter syndrome a lot of times, thinking that I can't do it, and that's not saying that I don't. I don't think that this stuff is real. That people can't uh, predict the future or people can't see your past lives. No, that's not what I'm saying. I have imposter syndrome when it comes to myself. When I don't think I can do it, even though Orion, Molly, other people that I know have pointed out, well, you did this and you did that. And I'm like, well, but I may have only got 20% of it right, and the other percentage was wrong. And they're all like, that's how you grow, that's how you become better. You got to practice. In my heart of hearts, I know that that's true. Something that's uh, good and worth having in your life isn't just handed to you. You have to practice and keep working at it. Um, so I don't know. Imposter syndrome's a real big thing for me at the moment. It depends on the day. Some days it's better, some days it's worse. But um, I don't know. What do you guys do when you have imposter syndrome? I mean, that's another thing. Remember, you guys can comment in the section below, whether it's on TikTok, YouTube, or Spotify. Even Spotify has a place for you guys to comment, and we can talk more about anything I've said in this podcast or any other podcast. But yeah, so what do you guys do when you have imposter syndrome? I'd really like to know. So I'm really trying to work on connecting to my higher self too. But the way that people talk about connecting to higher self, I'm not sure how that makes sense to me. They say that they hear a voice in their head, but it sounds just like them. So to me, it's where the imposter syndrome comes in. Is it me hearing my higher self, or is it me making up a story? And it's hard to know which one is which for me. Um, there's another lady I watch on TikTok, and she says that her guides are spicy and they have different personalities. And if my higher self had a different personality than me, then it might make it easier for me to understand them. But, it's your higher self is you. So they're really going to have that much of a different personality than you. So I'm currently working on that. I'm working on talking to spirits that have crossed over. Though I have uh, done that too, um, it hasn't been a great connection with them. It's not like I'm getting 100% right on things. I might get 10% right. And, the people I work with, they say that's great and keep at it and whatnot. But, I kind of want it now, and that's not reasonable and that's not great. Um, I should work at it and earn it, but um, I don't know. The imposter syndrome, it can really get you some days. And, it's like I always tell myself, well, if I could just be sure I'm talking to my higher self, then the imposter syndrome would go away. Well, I said before, like, if I could verify that I was talking to a dead person, then I would be okay. And sure, I might have talked to them in the way that I thought I talked to them, but I definitely talked to them. So it's all new for me. I've only been doing this for about a year, spirituality, maybe 6 months, actually trying to hone my skills. I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling here, but the imposter syndrome can get to you. Um, if I could say anything to anybody, stick with it. The imposter syndrome will get better as you progress down your path. And maybe it doesn't get better, but are we going to let that hold us back? That's, I think, where I'm going to leave that today is, are we going to let the imposter syndrome hold us back from being the best versions that we can be? We all want to be the best version we can of ourselves. So don't let anything hold you back. All right, guys, remember, you're perfect just the way you are.